Have you ever had a preconceived idea or judgment about something, only to later find out that you were totally wrong? Well, the second generation of the Ripmo is truly not at all what I expected, and after several months of riding it on every type of trail I could find, I can honestly say I was completely off base in my assumptions about this impressive do-it-all bike from Ibis. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to dive into my long-term review of the latest version of Ibis's all-around trail weapon. Now, I've had this bike on loan for several months courtesy of Shaun at N+1. Shaun actually supports this channel by getting bikes and components in my hands for review so that I can make videos like this one for all of you. Now, if you're looking for a new bike or upgrades to your existing bike, give Shaun a call. Anything you purchase from him will directly support this channel, which I greatly appreciate. I'm also supported by Handup Gloves and Spokex Custom wheels, and you can find more information and special offers in the description below. All right, let's get back to the review. I have kind of an interesting personal history with this bike. A few years ago, I was on the hunt for a new longer travel trail bike, and after riding the original Ripmo, it was high on my list. Now, I ended up going with the Santa Cruz High Tower instead, because at the time it offered a slightly more aggressive geometry that better fit what I was after. Now, sometime later, Ibis released the Ripmo AF, which offered more aggressive geometry at a pretty remarkable price point. Then about a year later, they updated the carbon version with the same geometry. But I never had a chance to ride either of these new generation Ripmos until just recently. To be completely honest, I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but I hadn't made a huge effort to try the latest versions because honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the looks. I know that's pretty vain, but it's true, and ever since I hopped on the AF back in April, I've definitely regretted dragging my feet on riding this bike. From the very first moment on the updated version, I had a total blast. In fact, it was the most fun I'd had on the trail in a long time. All I wanted to do was ride that bike as much as possible. And the AF is an incredible value, and I truly get why all of the reviews since its release have given it high praise. At 6.2 pounds, the V2 is one of the lightest frames in its class, and I assumed it would be just a bit less weight to pedal up the mountain. But what I didn't expect was feeling such a noticeable difference in overall ride quality. The Ripmo V2 takes an incredible design and makes it even better. The carbon version offers a more smoothed out sensation, giving a quiet cloud-like ride quality that feels remarkably good. This is what people are talking about when they use the cliche of material offering a damped ride characteristic. This already lively bike becomes even more spry and nimble while also tuning out the chatter, which really further defines what the Ripmo is all about. In many ways, this bike reminds me a lot of my old High Tower. With a 64.9 degree head tube angle, a 475mm reach, 435mm chainstays, and an overall length of 1219mm, it's a bike with modern geometry that finds a sweet spot between aggressive and responsive. It's slack enough and long enough to tackle aggressive downhill riding without falling into the extreme range of the increasingly common point and plow designs. Extremely capable, yet still versatile and lively, making for a true all-arounder. The Ripmo does, however, separate itself from bikes like the High Tower with increased pedaling efficiency and an even more poppy and playful character thanks to the DW Link suspension design. Somehow, though, it still managed to offer an incredibly plush and composed nature when tackling rough terrain. This bike loves to pump its way through the rocks, but it still keeps its wits when things get hectic. With the increase in pedaling efficiency does come a slight trade-off in climbing traction on techier sections when compared to the High Tower. Now, personally, I found it to be a worthwhile balance between the two. I had the ability to punch into and carry more momentum into challenging sections, which fit my style of riding. The suspension platform also offers enough progression and fit clearance for more linear shock options, allowing for the use of a coil, which will bring more traction back into the mix if that's what you're looking for. The overall feel is very balanced, and this bike just loves to party, tackling whatever you want to throw at it. This is complemented by the Fox X2, as well as some potential added stability from the Fox 38. Now, I hesitate to give too much credit to the beefed up fork, but it's hard not to wonder if that doesn't play a role in providing some added confidence when tackling the big features and the gnarliest sections of trail. Fortunately, this isn't something I've actually been too concerned with. The bike in no way feels heavy on long uphill grinds, and at no point has it crossed my mind that it needs any assistance in the weight department. To have this level of efficiency on the ups while punching well above its weights on the descents keeps the fun factor high, which has me looking forward to riding this bike again and again. I also give the V2 high marks for its overall design and build quality. It's well engineered and quiet, and the use of Ibis bushings on the clevis and lower pivot offers added durability, and Ibis even offers free replacements for these as part of their warranty. The paint and overall finish is also very high quality, which is something I've found lacking with a lot of their competitors. The internal cable routing is easy to work with, which is sometimes a headache on other bikes. And the cool rubber linkage guards help prevent rocks and debris from falling into the areas where they could cause damage. So who is this bike for? The Ripmo is a top pick for a do-it-all design with the least amount of compromise in any one area. Whether it's all-day epics in the mountains, a quick lunch lap on nearby single track, or even a big day running laps at the bike park, it's confidence-inspiring on challenging terrain, yet still fun and lively on more mellow trails. It's a bike for someone who wants to crush the climbs, but is also looking to have as much fun as possible on the descents. I like that I can pack this bike in a flight bag and travel anywhere with confidence that I'll be able to ride whatever I come across. I recently took this bike out to the Sierras, and not only was it well suited to the long days in the backcountry, but it was a ton of fun on the trails at North Star Bike Park. This bike definitely tops my list for a one bike quiver. Oh, and one more thing. Now I actually really like the look of this bike. It's funny how that works. For more of my thoughts on the Ripmo, watch this video here on the AF, where I dive into more details on what makes this bike my top pick of 2022. Let us know your thoughts on the Ripmo in the comments down below. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications as well. As always, thanks for joining me today, and until next time, I hope to see you out on the trail.